Right, so before we get into anything, okay, let's all just, you're hearing the news, it's trickling in on all news sources and stuff. Let's just take a moment, address the fact that we just lost Canada's hockey dad, as y'all were calling him, and it's true. Walter Gretzky. Sad thing to hear. I spent a lot of years growing up in Brantford, so I've met the guy once, you know what I mean, as a kid. We all did. You'd see him around town. You didn't want to bother him because he was so cool, but he was so polite. And so we'll get into, I implore you, anybody here that, you want to stick around for the after part of the show when we're done talking about the game. We're going to have a whole Walter Gretzky, story share, if you will. So, I mean, again, we wish the Gretzkys well. Yeah, I mean, the royal family of hockey as far as I'm concerned. So we'll talk about it after that, okay? But we got something to get to right now. We got to get to the Leafs loss tonight, 3-1 against Vancouver, right? One of the worst teams, if not the worst team in our division right now. Here we go again, right? Everyone freaking out? Not me. Not me. Oh, the chug the bottle. Sorry, let's get to that. Sorry. You know what I mean? We obviously had something to address there. I forgot the bottle chug. My apologies. But yes, I'm not worried, guys. I'm not worried about what we saw here. They're coming off a back-to-back, and people could say, oh, that's just excuses if they want. Honestly, most of Leafs Nation, from what I can see what's going on social media, you guys all understand. This is one of those ones that, it's been going so well that you gotta throw in a night like this every now and again. And I don't even think they played that badly, if you want to know the truth. Okay, they had the fluky goal, poor Hall, right, putting it in his own net there to start off the game, pretty much, right? It wasn't too far in, and then boom, that's got them off to a bit of a bad start. Hutchinson didn't look bad. He had that weak goal. Yes, it was weak. It was a sharp side goal. With sharp angle, short side goal. I kind of combined two things there. I'm known to do that. But yeah, he let in one of those, and you tend to want to say oh, here comes Hutch again, right? This is what we're used to. But nah, he played a solid game. I'm sorry, especially as a backup, you're allowed to get away with one of those per game, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? You're as the backup goalie, if you're not getting regularly, if it's not a tandem thing where you're getting a third of the games or more, you know what I mean? If you're only getting the odd game here or there, or covering for an injury, you're allowed to get away with one of those every now and again. So I'm not blaming Hutch at all. I thought he played a great game. And even with the fact that he didn't play it properly, Hutch on that goal, still that was an incredible shot. I mean, there wasn't much room to go for there. It's just one of those shots. I don't think it was going fast enough or from a proper angle that if Hutch really knew what was going on, he must have lost it or got confused in his thoughts or something. Man, it happens. I don't know. Because he probably could have had that 9 times out of 10 or more. You know what I mean? 9.8 times out of 10, I'm sure. But it's just one of those ones. You know what I mean? Certainly a little tricky shot there, It takes guts to just throw it on net from that angle. It's what you got to do sometimes, guys. Not all shots have to be from the sweet spots, right? Sometimes you just, you throw it on net. All you need is a chip, a chair, and a prayer, right? Sometimes you don't need much to just... I mean, Matthews has scored goals like that this season, right? Just chucking it from some ridiculous sharp angle, and off it goes in the net off a rib or a butt or a pad or something. Or sometimes they pop them up in that little spot up in the shoulder there because, you know what I mean? They crunch up at the post, and there's literally a puck-sized hole there, and they find a way to put it in. Sometimes you got to go for it. So I give Vancouver all the credit in the world for this win here tonight. They were getting outplayed at first. I know they got that first goal, but Toronto, guys, if you noticed, it was 15 shots in the first period to 6 or something like that. I don't know, maybe not 6, but we got up there in shots quick, and then about halfway through the second period, literally halfway through the game, I mean, probably after that second goal, maybe even 2, I don't know. They just started tapering off. You could just feel it. You know what I mean? It's not like they played badly. They just looked slower. Vancouver was full of energy, man. They never looked tired once to me. And the Leafs just weren't moving as fast as they needed to pull off the style of play that they do. Hey, you know what I mean? If I had to criticize just for the sake of doing it, right? Just to say what I think that they probably could have done better. You need to be prepared in games like this to make a lot more passes and a lot more smart passes. You got to know where you're at before you go on the ice, and that's a tricky thing to do sometimes. Your own ego gets in the way. You're pumped. You're coming off of 4 wins in a row, and you're just yeah, we could go out there and crush these guys. They're just Vancouver, right? They're just Vancouver. Then you get there and you're like, oops. But by that point, you're already mentally kind of checked out a little bit. You're already beaten a little bit. So yeah, I don't think that they did. I don't think they did badly. But it definitely got away from them a little bit there, right? And if they had made more passes, conserve the energy, a lot more dump and chases, perhaps. Just basically, like, after they let in that second goal, they shouldn't have even been trying to score for like the next 5-10 minutes. Don't even bother, right? Let Vancouver get that energy out of their system, right? Start dumping it in, backing up, playing solid D. They played pretty good defensively, right? Because even then, Vancouver started catching up by the end in shots. It was pretty even by the third period. They really came out hot. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes when they do that, you know, you think that you might need more offense or you might need more shots to beat a team like Vancouver when they're playing like that. I disagree. I just find that, like, and this goes just from, like, watching all sports, right? It doesn't even have to do it with hockey at all. But sometimes when you see a team that's feeding off of energy and they're rolling, sometimes you gotta back off the offense altogether and just play solid D and just chuck it down, right? Like a dog, right? Go fetch. You go get it. Come on back. I'm gonna crunch you again, right? Because that's when you start throwing big hits and stuff like that, right? When you're playing solid D, oh man, you just start putting bodies into the boards, right? Chucking it over the red line as soon as you get over it, right? Dump it in, and then what you do is that defenseman that's got to turn his, you know, look over his shoulder now when he picks up the puck. Pow, 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 right? You start drilling him. Even if it's just like enough to wake him up. I'm not saying you got to level him like Wendell Clark back in the day. I know you'll probably have to be in a fight for that, right? But that's it, man. You let Vancouver run with it. They're going to be doing their dipsy doodles, you know what I mean? They're going to be trying to do their crazy rushes. Everyone's going to be pumping because they're like, oh, I feel good tonight. I need to get my goals tonight. Nah. Let him get it all out, shut it down. And then, you know what I mean? It's a dangerous play because now you might only have like 5 minutes to score your 2 goals to catch up, or your 1 goal even, right? Because it was 2-1 for the longest time. So, you know, you only get a smaller window to actually score. But trust me, if you wear them down, you let them get that energy out, they will leave themselves open because they'll want their goals, right? There's guys on that team I'm sure haven't scored yet, or haven't come close to their numbers that they usually do. There's no way they're having a season like that and everyone's playing well, right? So you know there's somebody on Vancouver that smelled blood in the water and was like, I gotta get in there, man. I gotta get my points. So, you know, just run them out, man. Run them out, and then go in for your tax when you got your time. So that's all I think. That's about it. I mean, other than that, I think they played a solid game. Lots of shots, lots of opportunities. My goodness, they still almost tied it up by the end there. With all the, if they had scored every single one of those goals that looked like those wide open shots that they almost scored, if they had gotten all of those, man, it's lights out. That would have been like a 5-3 game or something like that. You know, maybe even more. Who knows? But credit to Vancouver, credit to their goaltending too. Oh my goodness, some huge saves from that guy. And you know what I liked about him is how many times did you guys notice that he was getting shot right in the chest, right in the logo? As much as that is Toronto being fatigued and not being able to pick it the way they normally can, especially guys like Austin Matthews coming off the wrist injury and stuff. I mean, when you're tired, you lose your accuracy a little bit. So mentally, you just throw it on net. And every time you do that, you pretty much aim for right here. But at the same time, that goalie knew exactly where to be, right? He had good positioning. And so I really think that he just played a great game. Vancouver played a good game. We'll see you next time, chumps. You know what I mean? Right, Huxley? Where are you there? I know you're there, right? We'll see you next time. Good on you for this one. Enjoy it, man. It's nice to get those during a horrible season like you're having. I'm playing, okay? So anyways, that's what I say about tonight, right? And now I want to know what you guys think, okay? And we'll get into some Walter Gretzky talk as well, all right? But first I want to know what you're talking about there, all right? So let's go. I swear this new camera really shows how bad my skin is. Ugh. Anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe, okay? This thing is growing bigger and bigger, and you won't want to miss the chaos that the true believer will find himself in. I'm the most unique NHL 21 channel on YouTube. I dare you to prove me otherwise. Bye!